There we go.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
And we get to talk about the changes to Patreon.
Yeah, I put that in the notes.
Changes.
Changes. Sorry we're late, guys. Hello. Marconin was apparently internet drops out at 9 p.m. Central every night now for Marconin. So
For the last couple of weeks, the last 2 weeks, right?
yeah, yep. I didn't mark what time it was when it happened, but yeah,
Well, and I noticed it on those nights, and then I noticed it on other days too, because I
yeah.
was like, "What? Internet's out again? What?" And it's on the dot, 9 o'clock
9
Central.
o'clock. Yeah, that's so weird.
It is weird, and I'm gonna ask one of my computer nerds at work if there's something he can think of that may be doing it, if it pertains particularly to my router or what's going on, because it's screwy and it makes me think it's a setting somewhere. But
Yeah.
I didn't change anything, so I don't know. A little thirsty.
Little thirsty. All right, cool. All right, cool. I didn't check this stuff, so let me get this stuff set. Let's see. I'll do this one.
I've had con on the brain.
That works. That works.
Oh yeah.
Changes Patreon. Nope. Tie dad.
Nope. Tie dad.
It's a tie, Dad.
You never told me after the show what you thought I was saying. I forgot about that.
A tight ass.
Okay, that's what I thought. Like, that's what I thought, but I don't know.
It's like
If
you're
she was
going
seeing
in
something
that.
I wasn't.
It was going down that road of where you were right there, and
Yeah.
there's my dad. Hi, Dad. My dad showed up in Nicole and Tim's stream last night, and I was telling the other mods, I'm like, "That's my dad," and I don't think they believed me. It's like I don't think
No,
they got
really.
it. It's like, no, that's my dad.
No, for real, it is.
It's for real. It's my
I
dad.
promise. I promise it is.
I swear it is. I swear it is. Uh, we are here. We are ready for you. We are prepared for a show. We have prepared the notes for said show.
We have.
We've gotten Marconin to hopefully not lose his internet at 9 p.m.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll
Yes,
see.
we will.
I'm doing a process of elimination here, so
Yeah.
I've changed one thing, and hopefully, if that'll fix it,
Here's
we
like
shall see.
this. Oh, this will crack you up talking about process of elimination as we warm ourselves up a little bit. So I think I've mentioned this before, like because it's winter and because it's so dry in here, everything gets very static shocking, including Garrus, my kitty.
Oh yeah.
And so he will jump up on me or rub my leg and he'll shock me and then it will like disconnect peripherals on my computer. And so on Monday night, I'm watching a Twitch stream. I was crafting a couple things, and it was towards the end of the night. It was like 10:30, and Garrus walked under my legs, and he shocked me and shot, like, I had my hand on the mouse. The mouse started to act really strangely. Like, instead of clicking Windows, like, tabs on my browser, it would just close them, and I couldn't click on anything to, like, activate it. And I'm like, all right, cool. Well, I guess I'm just going to restart the computer and it'll be fine. So I go to bed, I get up the next morning, and it's still doing that. And I'm like, oh no. So, process of elimination. Switch USB ports. Now it's plugged into the back of the computer, so I got to climb under the desk and switch USB ports. Still happening. Get another mouse. Still happening. And I go, oh
Okay.
shit. Because it's like, okay, so, but now remembering I don't have a mouse to work with. So I'm trying to navigate to my like mouse driver settings to see if I have like driver updates to like using my keyboard because I can't click on anything with my mouse.
Old school.
And I'm like, oh my God. So the only thing that fixed it out of all the things was me going to, I I had to go to the Windows update and see that there was a new Windows update, trigger that manually, and then it started working again. I had no other things to do. I did the Windows update, it rebooted the computer, and then my mouse worked. So,
that's weird.
it's the most jacked up thing ever. Stupid static electricity is gonna fry this computer. I tell you what. So yeah, I mean, I'm like, Windows updates. Like, that's what fixed it. Oh my god. So I guess whatever. It was so weird though, and I can't stop my cat from touching my leg or something. So
yeah.
it's just, it's too funny.
That is funny. Mm-hmm. Yeah, occasionally I'll be petting my cats or something, and it'll come up and they'll like. Pixie likes to kiss my nose or like lick my nose, and she'll go to do that and it just sparks, and like their ears start to twitch, like it like short circuits them for a second.
Yeah, it hurts. They don't like it. I don't like it. It sucks.
Like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
Like, Kitty,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Kitty, I love you. I'm sorry.
I love you. I'm sorry. Don't run away. And then they run away.
Of course they do.
No, come back.
Please come back. Yeah. It's too funny. So we've tested that. We need to test the chat room. Chat room, are you guys ready?
Oh, man.
Are you ready for a show?
I gotta wake up for the show.
Marconen's gotta wake up, wake up. Marconen's gotta wake up. Everybody's saying yes, saying yes. I had to, there was a bunch of stuff I had to mute on the YouTube video in order to post it because of all the songs we played last week.
Yeah.
A little copyright violations.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So, it looks like you guys are ready. I'm ready. Marconen's ready. So, are you ready, by the way? I'm assuming you're ready.
Yes.
Okay. Put a metal sheet on. Isn't that a bad thing, though? Because, like, he'll approach me from the opposite side of the computer, so he'll come, like, under my legs. The computer is here on this side, and he comes over from here. So I need, like, to put metal across my entire floor.
There you go. Just like sheet metal. Just like big, long strips, bolt them together.
That just sounds really dangerous and bad.
But less staticky.
Less staticky. No kidding. All right. It's episode 260. 260.
Sweet.
That's crazy. Episode 260 records in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the podcast about the Blizzard gamer behind the keyboard.
It's episode 260. That's 260 of Tauren Think Tank. Today is Thursday, February 15th of 2018. I don't even know what year I was just going to say, but it wasn't 2018. It is 8:16 p.m. Central Time. My name is Jules, and with me, as always, is the man who has the internet decide that it just wants to check out for a little bit every night at 9 p.m., so we're praying it won't happen at night. It's Marconen.
Yep, apparently that's when my internet takes a siesta, is from 9 to 9:01 p.m. every night.
Just a little siesta.
Thought it was a fluke the first time it happened during the show, but turns out it happens every day at the same time, and it's weird. So I'm investigating. I've done some changes to see maybe possible. I'm doing my own process of elimination stuff to try and figure out what's wrong. So
yes,
we shall see. We shall see.
Yes.
We'll see in like, what, 44 minutes? If it's gonna work or not.
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten pretty good.
Fingers crossed, though.
Yeah, I've gotten pretty good at the whole like Marconen froze. Let's keep moving and hope that he comes back in the middle of it. So
I'm going to set an alarm for like a minute before so that I'm not making any goofy faces that get frozen on the stream.
Oh, but those are the best.
I'm just
Those
gonna
are the
smile and
best.
talk through my teeth.
Those are the best. That's what happens in there too. So
yeah.
welcome to our post Valentine's Day Tauren Think Tank episode. I hope everyone had a nice day yesterday if they celebrated. If they didn't, I hope today is a good day because it's not Valentine's Day.
Yep, it's half price chocolate day.
It is. It is. What's shaking? What's new? What's exciting? What's happening?
No rocket mount, but I have, and today's the last day.
Is it really today?
Resets at 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Okay.
Before the reset. So, no rocket mount, but I still have about 10 more characters to run through it today. So we'll see. Probably not going to get it. Probably have to wait another year to try. So, at this point, I'm just kind of I've resigned to defeat. But I'll still do it. So if I get it, then it's awesome. But if not, oh well. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
How many years? How many years has it been out? We'll see. But that's okay. There's I keep seeing so many cool looking mounts coming out in Battle for Azeroth that I'm like, okay, that'll help fill the empty hole in my heart that shapes suspiciously like a giant pink rocket. So I'll just keep throwing mounts into that gaping hole in my life.
Oh, it's the saddest thing for a collector to not be able to collect it's not because of you not trying to collect it. It's that elusive, the white rabbit, the big game hunter.
I know. I've given days of my life in total to just the rocket mount. If you add it all together, days of my life. Oh, that sounds kind of sad now.
It does kind of. I was just thinking the same thing. I'm glad you said it.
I sound pathetic. Oh my goodness. Well, that's okay. I'm trying to play the game the way I want to play the game, and it's not coming up right. But that's okay. I still am in pursuit of other mounts and things to do. So
yeah,
we'll see how it goes after the show. I'll finish it up, but probably not going to get it. But that's okay.
That's okay.
Been going all right. My granddad had to go back in the hospital for a couple of days post partial kidney removal because he ended up getting an infection.
Oh no!
But thankfully they got to it really early, and they got him. He was there for about a day and a half. I went and saw them day before yesterday because they got discharged the next day. So they were there maybe a day and a half.
Good.
And so he's doing good, and he's back home. So that's good. What else? Oh, I did a little bit of Valentine's Day stuff. I gave my wife a couple little treats that I got her, one of which is the world's hottest chocolate bar.
Oh, wow.
It is small. It was featured on Good Mythical Morning a couple weeks ago, and I saw it, and my wife likes spicy food. Not that spicy, but I thought it'd be fun to try. And I have very low tolerance for spiciness. So I'm probably going to die. So when we try it, but
you haven't tried it yet, then?
No, not
okay.
yet. I gave it to her late last night, and she's like, "We're not eating this today because I don't want to have heartburn all night." So we'll probably try it in the weekend. But it is small. It is smaller than a credit card, and it has 12 little sections, and you're only supposed to have one at a time because it's 9,000 times hotter than a jalapeno.
Oh my goodness! Is it like the Carolina Reaper, or is that?
It's some kind of it's something along that caliber. It's like a pure chili extract that's in it, and so this is going to be awful. But it's going to be. I think it's going to be fun up until the point at which I actually start to eat it.
Yeah.
And so that then the
I
pain
almost
will happen.
want you two to film this. Like
I almost want to as well. Just so I could get that reaction, because like, holy cow, it's gonna hurt. I'm gonna have some milk ready to go since that's what that help cures it.
Oh,
but
yeah,
we're gonna do that. We did that. That was the kind of the gift that I gave her for Valentine's Day. We're gonna do dinner on the weekend because it's gonna be heck to find a place, I've got reservations for a nice, cool, fancy place, but we're gonna do that. Go see Black Panther. It's gonna be cool. But yeah, that's about it. I think work's been going all right. Work's fine. Been playing a lot of Pokemon Go the last few days. They've been having a couple of small mini events around Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's going pretty good.
Awesome.
I'm having fun. Can't complain much. It's been a pretty good week. Yeah.
Good.
But yeah, what about you? How's your week been?
Week's been good. You know, I mean, as good as crap can get, I guess. It's just been, you know, I'm not one to complain, but the last couple of months have just, like, I feel like it's just been one old smack in the head for financial reasons. You know, they just keep hitting, and they just keep hitting, and they just keep hitting. And I got hit with a very sizable, I've got to pay the tax man a lot of money this year.
Yeah.
And it sucks. So yeah, it's just been frustrating as hell because, like, you know, yeah. But one, you know, in the interest of what we talk about on this show, I started therapy this week, which is a pretty big deal. You know, it's like, I want to walk the walk, right? I want to be able to say I'm doing the same thing that we tell people on this show all the time. But I also know how hard it is sometimes to find a therapist, you know, that especially one that's going to understand your particular situations, your particular, like, what you need, right?
Yeah.
And you know, and I don't have any problem sharing this. My therapist is Wendy Dunford.
Oh wow.
And, you know,
I remember her. You
remember her. She was a guest on this show. She is Wendy from the morning stream, Scott Johnson's sister. And so I you know, and the nice thing about Wendy is that she understands the world that you and I live in.
Yeah.
You know, she gets it. She understands what it's like to be, you know, on the internet all the time and how to connect with people. And so I had my first session with her and this week, and it was amazing and awful at the same time.
Oh yeah.
You know, I equate it to basically taking an emotional a Nerf bat that hits you in the emotions about 20 times with the speed of a meteor. Like,
wow, that fast Nerf bat is like concrete.
Yeah. Yes. So, yes, I was just
a
like,
Nerf bat like concrete.
Yeah, and you know, so and one of the things, you know, if you've ever listened to Therapy Thursday, Wendy talks about how she gives homework. Well, she does. She gives lots of homework of things that you have to do. And one of the things that I've been given to do is that I have to meditate every day. And I hate it. It's like, and the reason that I hate it is because I have such a hard time turning my brain off, which is like the major problem that we're trying to deal with in it, you know, because what will happen is I will fall asleep in exhaustion sometime around 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And then I will wake up sometime around 3 or 4 in the morning, either on my own or if Garrus decides he wants attention. And then I'm awake. I can't sleep. And my brain is like a freaking ping pong ball, just like bam, 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 bam. Sometimes I'm worried about stuff that's happening. Sometimes I'm trying to work out a problem. But it's just like this awful monkey mind. So then you asked me to sit down and do meditation. And I wrote this to her and I said, the entire like freaking 10 minutes of this meditation, my brain was going, is it over? Is it over? Am I done? Is it over? Can I be done? Can I be done? Can I be done? And I'm like, oh my God, Joel, shut up. Like, shut up. And so it's just, you know, it's obviously good for me, but I don't like it because I clearly need it and I can't do it.
Well, and when you're meditating, is it completely silent or do you have music going? Something to kind of take your mind, let your mind relax? Because when I kind of do that every I kind of wanted to try meditating a while ago,
Yeah.
and I would do like the kind of guided meditations where
Yeah.
someone would talk and there'd be nice music or like waves. Do you do that, or is it like how do you how do you do it?
So it depends. Like I'd used an app in the past called Insight Timer that someone from the community told me about, and there's just a ton of.
I remember that.
Yeah, there's a ton of guided meditations on there which I've used, and I seem to do better if there is like some kind of like calm music playing underneath the voice that's telling you what to focus on. Because this one had no music. This is one that actually Wendy sent me, and she said use this one. And there was no music. It was a guided meditation, but it wasn't. It was like there would be moments where it would tell you to do stuff, and then there would be this like dead silence and no music. And so that was when my brain was going, is it over? Is it over? Is it over? Is it done? Can I be done? Can I be done? And it's like, oh, I hate that so much. So I may just need, and it makes sense because even in my day-to-day life, when I'm moving around the house, when I'm working here, there's always something on in the background. There's always music, or there's a Twitch stream or a Netflix thing that I can just blend into the background. And very rarely is there no noise. And even when I sleep, I need a white noise machine to sleep. So I guess I'm just not attuned to silence very well. So it must be that. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, so, I can't stress enough that I it's so helpful to do it, and it sucks so much to do it. Like the whole therapy thing, because you're my other metaphor that I had is it's like you take all these emotions and you just stuff them down in a hole and you bury them there. And therapy is the big shovel that goes and digs it all up and plunks it in front of you, and you have to clean it up or it's going to stink up your house. That's how it feels. And so it was like, so on Monday night, I'm just like eating a pint of ice cream and just a big old mess. And so, yeah, it's just do it, guys, because it's good to do it. But me, I know it sucks because I'm there too. So
yeah. Well, hopefully you'll get more attuned to it, and it'll start to kind of, just digging up all that stuff at that first. But once you start going through it piece by piece, it'll start get a little bit easier for you.
Hopefully.
And, I hope so.
I really don't. It's not helping my diet plan to eat a pint of ice cream. So.
Well,
I know. No, you know what? There's the first, that is the first time that I have done that since I started the whole trainer thing. And so it was like, wow, okay, that was bad. And, but Nicole said to me, my trainer said to me, for Valentine's Day, she was like, if you need to treat yourself, you go treat yourself. And I'm like, I already did. It's done. I already did it. So
I knew you were going to say that, so I preemptively treated myself. So now I don't have to.
Yeah. Oh man, we're a bunch of emotional creatures that have a whole lot of baggage, and that baggage piles up as you get older and you live life. So it's okay to work through that stuff and continue to keep moving forward, but you gotta deal with the crap too. So
yeah, it happens.
It does. Happens. You gotta deal with your crap. So that's basically what's been going on with me. If you want to hear any more esports talk, I was on Balance Sports this past week, so that's there. You can hear me on that. We did not have a Slaying Demons this week, so there's no episode of that. But the one that we published the one that we recorded the week prior is out now, so you can hear that one.
Sweet.
Marconan and I did a thing And it's
Yes.
official now. We hinted at this in a previous episode that we were making some changes to our Patreon structure, adding some more cool stuff, and we have done it. So it is up and it is ready. Starting in March, we are going to be hosting a monthly patron game night on stream. So if you guys are a patron at any level, you are going to be invited to our monthly game night, and it can be a variety of different stuff. So that's anything from $1 to anything you want. So that is everybody, and you know, patrons get priority in the games. We also set a goal so that if we hit over $200 a month, we'll add a second night for either another game night, or we will do a movie night, so we watch a movie together, or a Discord hangout, just to hang out and chat with everybody, and the patrons will get to vote on that every time. So the second one will be added on top of the monthly game night, which will always be there. And I have to put this on my to-do list to order them. We have a new $5 tier as well. At the $5 level, you will get your name on our website, and you will also get a thank you card that will be signed by Marconin and I and mailed directly to you, and it can be anywhere in the world. So so those are the things that we've changed, and we made a new little video so you can see that, and yeah, it's Patreon,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, we figured it was time for an update and a refresh, and we asked you guys what you wanted, and pretty much everybody just wanted more time with us. So that's what we're gonna do for y'all.
I think that's a good idea. So yeah, so that's live now. You can get in on the first game night from March if you pledge anytime between now and then. So we'll send out the invite through Patreon itself, and then you can we'll let you know when it's gonna be. Yeah. So that's the business side, and again, thank you guys so much for supporting us with the show. Every dollar helps us to do a little bit more, so we appreciate that so much. All right, Marconin, do you have anything else before we jump into our question of the night?
Not really. I think we pretty much got everything caught up and we're ready to roll.
Okay, let's do our think tank question right now.
Tauren between options? Let Triple T help you sort it out.
It's think tank. Sorry, let me start that over. It's Tink Tank time. Tink Tank time is when we have our letter. We've got lots of letters from you guys. Thank you guys so much for sending them in. We are very happy to have them, and this is from a listener as well. It says, "Evening, Marconin and Jules. I first want to start out by saying I love what you two have been doing for the Blizzard community with your podcast. You have touched so many lives, including mine, which is why I'm writing today. I recently, as of May 2017, was fired from my job working as a robotics technician for Texas Instruments. I had worked for the company for over 2 years. But while I was working there, I had a bit of a moment where I was honest with myself and came to the conclusion that this is not what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. I was only doing it for a paycheck day in and day out. I think it showed in my work since I made too many little mistakes that led to me being let go. But after working some stopgap jobs, I decided to take a leap and go back to school. However, it's not to expand on my electronic engineering degree. I want to be an animator. Moreover, I want to tell stories. I always have as a kid. I just never thought it was a financially smart thing for me to do. Today, I'm taking that risk after years of military, technical training, and my family telling me that I should keep my day job. I'm going for my animation degree. I wanted to ask, are they right? Should I just stick with something that will just pay the bills, or should I just throw caution to the wind? I'm scared that I won't be good enough as an animator to make a living off my work. I know that I'm just starting, and a 1,000-mile journey begins with a single step, but it doesn't diminish the voice in my head saying you're too old or you'll never make it. I'm 30, by the way. I'm sorry for the novel, but I would like some words of wisdom. May they be kind or harsh. From the bottom of my heart, I love you guys and all that you do. For the Horde, from Darthus."
Yeah, thank you, Darthus. And 30, man, you're young. You're a youngin' compared to us. Well, not
Compared to
not
me.
a whole lot, not a whole lot, but
But I think we both have words of wisdom on this front for you. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And
Yeah.
Go ahead, start this off, because I know that you've got stuff on this for sure.
Yeah. Well, and I've talked about it before. My degree's in broadcasting, and I wanted to do something relating to my degree, but with the way that broadcasting is, it can be really tough to get into. There's a lot of people, that turnover is very low in a lot of broadcast media because people get set in their ways, they get stuck. That's just the nature of the business. So I had to get a job, and I just took the first job that was offered to me to pay the bills. And I stuck with that company, and I'm still with them 8 years later, but I'm making double what I was when I started, which still isn't a whole lot, but hey, it's an improvement. And I'm kind of working my way up. And, I've got things that I would rather be doing, but where I am right now, I'm able to, I kind of discovered some of the parts of me, the things that I like to do, and how I like to relate to people. And I get to relate to people every single day. It's different. So and that's why I'm kind of happy with where I'm at for now. It's not a permanent thing, but there's other things that I would like to do and places I would like to be. But to me, it looks like you're on the right track. I mean, you had your day in and day out job that you wanted, or that you wanted at the time, paid the bills, but your heart's not in it.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's something to be said for, a job is not something, it's not something that like, oh, I guess I'll have a job. For most people, it's something like, it's a necessity, you got to pay the bills, you got to feed yourself, clothe yourself. So it's a thing you have to have for most people, regardless of what you want to do. And you can either be settled with the job that you have or that you get, that you're there day in and day out and you don't have a lot of motivation. But like you said in your letter, Darthus, it showed in your work, you believe that your heart's not in it. And I tell you what, I can tell people at my job that their heart's not in it. I was talking to a couple of people, and they were like, yeah, when you started, other people started to improve, because I'm kind of, I'm more of a people person. I talk to people. I try to be very positive at work, because it's a positive experience what I get to do. The way I think of it, I imagine my job as a positive experience. There's a couple of guys at work who are kind of set in their ways. They've been there too long. They just they're there for the paycheck, and it shows in their work. And they just kind of, whatever, blah blah blah. Yeah. They just kind of, and you have to offset that, or I have to offset it. But you realized it. And you have a plan. You have an idea of what you wanted to do. It's tough to make that leap of faith to change something as big as your career.
Absolutely, it is.
And I know Jules has firsthand knowledge of this, and you guys know this. She made this gigantic leap into the unknown with her career over the last couple of years, and it's paid off. She's doing fantastic. And it takes a lot of guts to do that, especially when you have to go change careers and go through school to do it, because that's not only is that's not like one singular leap, like ripping off a Band-Aid and you're okay, it's over. You are in the thick of it for long enough to earn that other degree, putting in the time, the hours, the money, the study, all of that stuff. And I know you've got all these kind of like second guessing ideas, all these other, people are saying it's maybe not the right fit. But no one knows what the right fit is for you except for you. And sometimes you only know that after the point that you get fit in. Yeah. I was scared to take this, I called Jules on the phone before I decided to take this last job. And I was weighing the pros and cons, and I was nervous because I was nervous to make this little small leap within the same company. And it's paid off because I didn't know I would fit in so well until I was already in it and I realized it.
Yeah, and you were really, really nervous and scared about the what ifs and the, what if this isn't what I think it's going to be, and what if this isn't as good as I think it might be, and and if you aren't scared of change, if you aren't somewhat trepidatious about making a big decision that could impact your entire life, I would be afraid for you. But if you've gone through all the, Marconin was weighing all the pros and cons, and it was like you knew what the answer was, but it was you just needed to make sure that you were Like, did I miss anything? Did I miss
Yeah.
anything?
Yeah.
Did I forget to think of something that could impact this in a way that would hurt me?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it's just like I think the biggest point of this whole thing, though, is that the decision was kind of made to help you. Like, you were let go from your job that you didn't like anyway, and you had some poor performance, which is why they let you go, which, you know, I'm not raking you over the coals for that. It's just a good indicator that you are not happy. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then you like, I know this is what is going to make me happy. And so I don't think there's a question mark of that. It's just more of you know, like what a good parent is going to do is they're going to tell you, you know, oh, honey, don't go be an actor. You'll never make it in Hollywood. Go and get a lawyer job, because then you'll make money and be secure and happy and you'll have a good life.
Yeah.
But maybe the good life for you is like living on ramen and waiting tables while you're trying to get that first animation job after school.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, and you know, and I think that it's, well, you know, and it is the parental responsibility type of angle. I agree with you there that they want what's best for you, but they want you to be safe. Parents always want their kids to be safe. And the safe route is going through these more traditional avenues and just keeping what you've got. And you've got kind of, you know, one way to think about it is that you've kind of got a safety net in a sense that you can always fall back on your electronic engineering degree, because electronics aren't going anywhere, you know, except for like a giant EMP that takes out everything, which is probably not going to happen. So you're pretty secure in your backup plan because you can always go back to it because you know it. And this is taking like a step in a different direction towards your passion, but you do have skills that can possibly translate to it. Heck, there's maybe stuff in animation that you can help out and that your old experience can help out with as well. You never know.
Yeah.
That's like my broadcasting stuff helps at work all the time, because in some ways I'm performing whenever I'm in a client's home. Is, you know, you have to be that persona of someone knowledgeable and someone pleasant to talk to. So, I mean, you always, there's things that you learn throughout your life that you can apply to your new positions and new things that you want to try to go towards. But I mean, you've run through this whole route throughout your life, and the only one that's in control to take these steps is you. And, you know, I know your parents are trying to help out, but at some point just say, I understand, Mom and Dad, I understand family. But if you've got the ability to take this leap, if you are going to, you know, if you've got the ability to do it, I say go for it. And you're never too old, and no one knows that you're not going to make it. The only person that knows you're not going to make it is someone who hasn't seen you try. Yeah. Because once you try, then, I mean, you don't know until you try. And if you fail, okay. But if you don't fail, then it's the only direction you can go is up, because you know where you're at right now. And you won't ever get to where you want to go unless you try to go there. So keep, you know, I always like for people to try to do something that they want to do. You know, like try for their passion.
Oh gosh,
yeah. I mean, absolutely, because it's
you'll regret it if you don't.
yeah. There's some you know, there's you know, because I have friends that they get the stable position, they get the stable part in their life. I have a friend that she had a goal, and she said, I want to make this much money a year. What is the best way for me to do it? And she got there. She got there this past year, and she's happy, and she enjoys what she does. But overall, that was her goal, was a dollar amount. And for some people, that's fine. Having that, and that be the core of that drives them. You know, so for some people, it is that dollar amount that gets them out of bed in the morning to get ready for work.
Yeah,
you know?
Because it aligns with the goals that they have for whatever way they want to live their life.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of people, and myself included, that I worked at the jobs that sucked my soul away. I worked at the corporate Americas and the frustrating startup companies, and I've worked at those. and I hated it. I hated having to go to work. And so my career changed at 41. And so, you know, you're looking at it as is 30 too old. I can absolutely say it's not, because you just no. The thing, you know, the thing that you have to also, you know, I'm never going to say just throw caution to the wind and just go, because you still have to have a backup plan and the ability to earn money somehow or have money to pay your bills. And the way I did it is that I worked at a job that I didn't like but paid the bills, and I sacrificed my free time to do the thing that I loved doing the most on the weekends, the evenings, the holidays, the, you know, extra time, any extra time that I had, I put it into that. And it's what eventually turned into a career for me. And I was still able to pay the bills in the meantime, even though it was, you know, slowly sucking my soul away. Because I had the goal that I was going to do this. I was going to make this happen. Some way, somehow it was going to happen. And so if that is what you feel about animation and telling those stories, and, you know, your brain is there to protect you. Like, that is the, like, that is the goal, like that whole like little voice in your head. It's there to protect you, to like, so that the lions don't come to eat you. Like that you don't waste away in a puddle of filth and, you know, no food in the house. Like, it's there to tell you that you need to make sure that you are, that your basic needs are met, as we've said before on the show. And sometimes you have to detail out what is it, the basic needs that you have, and everybody's different. Like, for me, like so here's a really good example of, like, you know, choices that could be made. When I go, like, so people who go to BlizzCon, like, I see this all the time, people who really desperately want to go to BlizzCon, and they will room with like 5 other people in a hotel room meant for 2. Sometimes it's like 6 or 7 people that are living in a hotel room made for 2 just to save some money and sleeping on the floor. And, you know, like, no judgments at all. Like, that's their choice. I cannot do that. I cannot, because I would be so anxious and so uncomfortable and not feeling like I had my own space that I would make the choice to not go, because I would be more miserable in that situation. And so, you know, you have to gauge what is your comfort level, what are your priorities and your needs in order to be comfortable and to be able to, like, meet your basic needs. So that is, you know, so for some people, that's I'm okay living in a studio apartment, and I don't need I don't need like a real, like a living room set. I just need a bed, and I need a couple of plates and something to cook in and a couple of towels, and I'm good. And some people are not that way. So, you know, it's you have to make that list. You have to say, this is what my basic needs would be in order for me to feel like I could function in the world. If those are met, and then you can say, I can do that and go to school and, you know, and work towards this position, then do that. If not, maybe you need to be going and getting a part-time job somewhere, or just something to pay the extra money. But everybody's different. Everybody can give a certain, you know, give and take, I would say. So that's where I would say, you know, make sure you're kind of taking it down to the basics, because if you want it bad enough, you'll figure it out. Like, you'll figure something out to make it happen. And if it's not okay for you, or this is not okay, then it's not okay. You don't do it. So that would be my say on it. You know, it's just like, you know, I sacrificed a lot of time to do what I did. And so, you know, with that came other sacrifices. Like, I I couldn't do certain things anymore because I was always working on podcasting or working on this or that. So I couldn't go out with people because I was too busy doing this or, and it just, so yeah, that's my say on that too.
Yeah. And when if you finish out your animation degree, it may be a situation kind of like Jules where you have to have your regular job, whatever you're doing, doing something during the day, but then work on your animation stuff in your off time and try to get your foot in the door that way, kind of like how Jules did with where she is now.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that at all. Before, I've said it many times before I did Triple T, I was doing audio stuff on the side, for free and just being creative and putting it out there because it's what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
It was a vehicle for my passion to be creative with sound. And it was just something, I made those decisions, especially with episode 100. I did nothing for 2 weeks, but other than work and sleep, but work on that till like midnight every night. And it showed because I put so much into it. And if you want to be an animator, if you're that creative type, you've got that drive to make stuff. You make something from nothing,
Mm-hmm.
Build something with your own hands and mind. And and it's a passion. It is something that it's something inside you that you want to get out. You have this drive to just, it's like it's your brain is under pressure to just like get it out, and whatever it takes whatever is that vehicle, you want to do it. And so, yeah, I think you're on the right path. It's something that you desperately wanted to do. You're going to school for it.
Mm-hmm.
You have enough skills already as a backup plan. So you have this bit of a safety net. If it doesn't work out, that's still okay because, not everybody gets to do their passion for a living. It's just a fact of life.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean you shouldn't try, because you may be one of the rare birds that it does work for.
Yeah.
And
you won't know unless you make the attempt. And, speaking from someone who has done it, the thing I can tell you is that you have to remember every day what it is that you love about what you do and what it is that drives you to do this every day. Because sometimes it's hard, especially when you're coming up and you're doubting whether or not you could compete with everybody else. The ways that I have found success is by throwing every bit of passion and enjoyment that I have for what I do and sharing that with the world. And I've had that same experience now with my jewelry creations. And it's been, I've been incredibly lucky that I've been in a situation where people can see what I'm doing because I have built a larger platform than other people may have. But it wasn't just given to me. I worked for it. Like, I have the platform, right? But then I can share that with other people. And, but I'll tell you what, like today, so one of the things that I had been working on with, because the jewelry business side of it has just been kind of building and building, and demand is getting more and more out there, which is so amazing, is that I've had people ask me if I had a website, like to show what stuff I had done before, and I didn't have the website. So I finally got my act together and I put together the website, and I thought about it and I'm like, well, I'm looking at other websites out there and I'm like, well, what is it that makes me excited about seeing what other people do? Like, what would make me decide to want to work with this person? And what I've seen other websites do is testimonials, like reviews and things that they say about the person who did it, right? So I took the step this week and I sent out a message to all of my former clients and I said, I am building. Mark Conan is raising his hand because he got this too.
I did.
You were on the distribution list. It was like,
I bought something from you, my lanyard, and my mom's bracelet,
and the bracelet, right? So you wound up becoming on the distribution list, which was just my database of all of my former clients, and that have bought from me. And I just sent them a message and I said, if you would feel so inclined to provide me with a testimonial of my work, I would really appreciate it, but it's totally optional. Like, it just helps to have it on the website. And immediately I got like 5, like right after, like right away. And I put them up on my website, and it's just like the most beautiful words of people who just shared their appreciation for what I did. And I was just like, oh, that means so much, because I know that I've kind of poured all of my passion and joy into it, and to hear that it comes back is just so incredible, because I'm accomplishing what I set out to do. And so if I ever kind of like, oh, my shoulder's bugging me and my back is sore and my hands hurt, and, you know, as I'm making something, I'm going to remember exactly what it is, why I enjoy this so much, is because just the joy that it brings.
Yeah.
And that I can pour my passion and creativity into this, and it comes out being something that other people enjoy. So when you're thinking about your animation degree and struggling through whatever you need to struggle through in order to do that, there's a passion there to tell stories that is always going to be there. And sometimes it gets latent, or sometimes it gets distracted, but it's going to be there, and it's going to be your guiding beacon to take you to the end of the education process and then into the path that you want to go to. But pour every bit of passion you have into your work, because it is noticed and it is taken in. You know, people may not be able to verbalize it, but they'll kind of, oh wow, so cool, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And, you know, it's, and it, I mean, and animation is competitive for sure, but it's not necessarily just the animation that gets you there. Like if you're applying for Pixar, yeah, that's like a high thing. But I mean, if you look at a lot of the animation these days, it's not all uber super polished and all this stuff. I mean, there's different styles. There's so many different styles that people appreciate for different reasons. It's just like going to school for music and you're just focusing on one particular genre, one particular style.
Yeah.
And that's not everybody's taste. And that's okay, because it's a creative art, just like with animation. I mean, there's different animation, say, on Adult Swim versus, you know, Disney Channel and, you know, DreamWorks movies. They're all the same thing, but different flavors, different genres, different styles. And that's the great thing about it, is it's so diverse. There's so many different avenues you can take it. Online animation, I mean, for crying out loud, a lot of the stuff that I like and watch on YouTube that's animated, you know, has its very own distinctive style that I admire. And I mean, there's a whole world of different styles and different ways you can take it. So don't be discouraged by one. There's not one clear path for any creative endeavor. No. There's no one clear path. There's probably the most well-traveled path, you know, kind of like with your parents wanting you to go a certain career path. Like, that's a well-traveled path. You know, two roads diverged in a wood. You know, I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. It's one of my favorite poems. Anyway, you can take your own route with these creative ways. So I say go for it. And I say, you know, you've got a backup plan. So you got stuff you can fall back on if it doesn't work out. Yeah. And you can make it a passion that's not necessarily your career, and that's still okay, but you can still work for it. You can still at least try. And so I don't think you're too old. I mean, heaven knows I want to try and change careers one day too. And I'm only a few years older than you. So if I'm not too old, you're not too old, dang it. And, you know, so, I mean, and you won't, you don't know if you're not going to make it unless you try. So please try. You're going to keep doing what you're doing. You know, let your family know that, you know, I take your advice into consideration, you know, and I appreciate that you're not being very heavy-handed about it. It's just mostly to me, it sounds like it's just concern for your well-being, you know. Of
course.
They just want you to be safe. They want you to be taken care of. But you're allowed to try. You're allowed to try new things and try to do it your own way. And I say go for it. You know, that's I want to see it. It's like when I hear one of Coltrane's movie trailers in the theater here in Arkansas, and I get to yell out, "I know that guy," which happened. Granted, there are only like 10 people in the theater, so I felt kind of emboldened. But if it was like right before Infinity War and like everybody's in the theater, I'd be a little more self-conscious. But I want to be able to see a movie or see an internet short or something, and know ahead of time that you've animated that. Be like, I know that. I know the person that did that.
Yeah.
So man, shoot for the moon on this one. Just go for it. You're already working towards your degree. Go ahead and finish it. Go ahead and get it out there.
Yeah.
And just work hard at your passion, and have like Jules was saying earlier, have some way to remember the reason why you're doing it. There's whatever part drives you, write it down, put it on a Post-it note on your bedroom mirror or bathroom mirror or wherever you're going to see it every day. And just remember the reasons why you're working for it. What drives you for this? What is that reason? Because when you're in the thick of it, when you're getting rejection notices, when you're stumbling, you're going to say, well, why did I even do this? It's a waste of time. I'm not going to make any money. It's stupid. I should have just stayed where I was at. Look at that and remember why you're doing what you're doing. And that will help you stay motivated. And it keeps you centered on why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I call that, in my own little terminology in my brain, I call it for the love of the game. That's my for the love of the game, because you get inundated with other stuff. You get distracted by the hardships, the failures, the stumbles, the whatever it is, the stuff that, but it all comes back to the love of the game. What is it that gets you to go do that and play the game? And what is it that makes you love the game? And so that's where, like, I'll come back to that at any point and say, what's my love of the game? And the love of the game is X. This is why I do this every day. Mm-hmm. This is what I am driving to. And so if you ever need that, and that can work with anybody when you're doing something, why am I even doing this? So that's in my internal brain terminology. I call it for the love of the game speech.
It's a good speech.
Yeah. I use it. I think of it from the movies that you see, in baseball is usually what comes into my brain, because I grew up, for some reason, when I was a kid, there were a lot of feel good baseball movies.
Yeah, Major League,
Field of Dreams, what's
League of Their Own.
League of Their Own. There are a lot of baseball movies.
Yeah.
And when there's the hardships and all the things like that, and they're frustrated and they're down and out, and there's just it's the turning moment. What's the turning moment in all those movies? Because you love the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because you fell in love with the game when you were a kid, playing in the streets with your friends, and you love the game so much that you'd do anything for it. And so that's why I use that terminology. I always think of baseball, but I'm not really a baseball fan. So it's just, but I think that the visual kind of works. So
yeah. Well, yeah, it definitely does, So, that's, I know we're saying a whole lot with it, but I think you're on the right track.
I agree. So I want to know, we want a letter in a year or two when you're super awesome, famous animator, to say, oh my gosh, Triple T, look what you helped me do.
Yeah. Well, we just want to see, hey, this was my first animation piece that I did. Look at, this is what I'd love to see any of the work you're doing.
Right.
That would be great.
Mm-hmm.
And the bills will pay themselves. They won't pay themselves, but you'll find a way to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Either way, they're going to get paid. If you're a responsible adult, they're going to get paid either way. It's worth the chance that you can pay those bills doing what you love and your passion to at least try for it.
That's right. Because
otherwise you're going to pay the bills anyway. The bill comes due. Yeah.
When you grumpy and you come home at night and you're like, I hate my job. So yeah, been there, done that. Don't do that. Ew.
Yeah. My job. Work sucks. Hate my job.
Oh man. So that is our think tank question. Darthus, thank you so much for your question as well. And if you guys have any feedback that you would like to share to the show, you can do so at questions@taurentthinktank.com. We thank you always for your letters, for discussion, and we will always take more. So please don't hesitate to send them in. We have a couple for the hopper coming up, but we can always use more. So, and with that, we're going to jump over to our other listener contribution segment called Tell Us One Thing, and that is right here.
We read your submissions because reading your mind would just be creepy.
It's Tell Us One Thing time, where we ask a question of you, you answer, and we answer, and it's a cool, like, a little just listener segment thing. So I came up with the questions this week, and my first one was, if you didn't have to sleep, what would you do with all that extra time?
Man, that's an interesting one. For me, gosh, I'd probably do more hobby stuff, not just gaming, but like, of course, it would be harder to do this, but I wouldn't mind picking up the trombone more often and playing more often. Just if it just, playing whenever I can, just to kind of keep my chops going, study a little bit more and try to get better. I'd probably read more books, just kind of get my, stuff that I don't normally do during the day, but I still have interest in.
Yeah.
Either that or I might, go exploring, which is kind of hard at night. But when I used to work overnights on the weekends, I'd still keep my hours. And when I'm traveling, when I was out of town, I'd still go do stuff at night, especially like when I was down in the New Orleans area for a few months on end. Like it's oddly peaceful on Bourbon Street at 3:00 in the morning on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Like there's like 5 drunk people and there's just the rest, everything's still open. So there's barkeeps still there. And that's when you can just like sit down and chat with them and have a good, nice, calm conversation. You're just chill. It's a lot less raucous during the week.
Sure.
And then in the middle of the night, So, that's probably what I would do, is just pick up my hobbies and, stuff that I'd like to have time for that I just tend to not take the time to do in my normal day to day. That's probably work out more often too.
Yeah.
lot fewer people at Planet Fitness at 2 a.m, I suspect.
That is true. That is very true. I get lucky because I go like noonish, and there's usually not a lot of people there. So it's some very interesting people though that do show up during the day. For me, I would watch more movies because I don't ever take the time to like sit down and watch a movie a lot of times because I'm always like multitasking doing something else, and so a lot of times I want to, like, if I want to watch a movie, I'm going to watch the movie. And so it's like, but I have other stuff. Excuse me. I have other stuff that I need to do. And so I'm the queen of like doing multiple things at one time.
Yeah.
So that'd be nice. I could sit down and like actually watch the movie and not feel bad that I didn't get other stuff done. I do that. I'd play more video games because right now I don't play a lot of video games. I'm just doing other stuff, and so I do more of that. Maybe get better at like ranking up in Overwatch, that kind of thing. So that's what I would do. I would just do the things that I keep saying that I should do more, and then I just like when it, it's like I take priority and do the stuff like Wendy told me the other day. She's like, if you're doing the thing where you like wake up and you can't sleep, like don't lay there and just keep trying to sleep, which is what I do because I'm frustrated because sometimes like on the rare moments it'll work and then the other ones it won't. But I'm like, I'm not going to get up and admit defeat that I couldn't sleep. So what do? I lay there for 2 hours trying to sleep. It's the definition of insanity right there.
Yeah.
It's just like, but I know this, but I'm stubborn, so I don't. So I could just like get up and admit defeat that I'm not sleeping and just go play Overwatch for a while, but I don't. So we'll see. If you see me online at like 3 a.m. playing Overwatch, I'm having that problem. Because I admitted defeat. We asked you guys this question, and you said, Draven, does I spend my extra time in games, listening to music or audiobooks, sometimes making terrible Photoshops?
And he tends to grace us with those Photoshops.
Yes.
Which is
he
always
does.
fun.
They're
fun.
They're awesome.
Yeah. And Crushinator says, based on what I'm currently cutting my sleep over, that would be tinkering with microphones and webcams. I would actually probably spend more time playing pool, as in billiards, and I might think about I think I might have some real skill there if I spent more time with it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Ages ago, I used to play pool.
Mm-hmm.
Ages ago. I'm terrible at physics though, like the angles and the bounce. Like
Yeah.
it's like I can get like maybe to the point where I can see where it's gonna hit the first time, and then after that, it's just a free for all.
Yeah. Geometry.
Geometry, physics. It's like, yeah, whatever. Bim says, I'd read all the books I've been meaning to read. Yes. Watch all the shows I've been meaning to watch. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sew all the projects I've been meaning to sew. And visit all the friends I've been meaning to visit, but not at 3 a.m. unless they don't need sleep either.
If you were in the area at 3 a.m., I would still come by and say hi.
Right.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah,
Yeah.
I do this.
Absolutely.
That's funny.
Yeah. And Alessander says, I'd learn StarCraft, watch more VODs, waste more time online, read more books, maybe take enough baby steps to start that podcast I've been thinking about.
Yeah.
That'll work.
So anybody who answered this question, if you're kind of like, I should, maybe pick something on your list and just do something on it.
Yeah. Pick one.
Pick one. Just pick one.
Pick one, do it one day a week at least. Just carve out a little time.
Think about it. Yeah. The second one is a more feel-good question. What's the best compliment you've received recently?
Let's see. Well, I kind of hinted at it during the question, but I recently had another one-on-one evaluation with my boss,
Mm-hmm.
and he said that one of the best contributing factors that I am to the team is that I'm overwhelmingly positive. Is that I don't let the job get to me on the rough days, because I take a step back and I was like, hey guys, you get to do this for a living. Yeah, it's got some bad moments, but this is your job. It could be a lot worse.
Yeah, that's
one
he
guy
kind of
yelled at me.
indicated that you lift your other team members up because of that attitude.
Yeah, because you can get swallowed up by the little things that can kind of eat away at you and be negative about the negative parts about the job. But all in all, if you take a step back and look at it on the whole, it's like you get to do this for a living, man. There's, all of us have had really crap jobs. I've had my first job in my company. I would go home upset and in tears on some days because I was so depressed at how awful I was being treated.
Yeah.
But I found that little opening, and 8 years later, I'm still here, but I'm doing a whole lot better.
Yeah.
And it's, I had a guy at one of my earlier positions yell at me because he's like, I need you to quit being so damn positive, because he was trying to gripe. I was giving him a way out. It's like, well, if you think about it. So yeah, that would be it. Just that I'm one of the most upbeat people he's ever. Well, and in that interview, he said that he had some good he had a good feeling about hiring me, but he said that I blew away every expectation that he had and just rose above it as far as my accomplishments in the job this past almost year, like 9 months that I've been here. He said I blew him away that how much knowledge I brought already, and then how positive I'm keeping and elevating other people. So
That's
I hate bragging on myself, but that's what he said.
That's a great review, and that's a great compliment to receive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really did appreciate it. I really did appreciate it. But yeah, that's what I would say for me.
Yeah. That's awesome. You're not bragging. It was just asking a question. What was the best compliment you received? And you answered it.
That was a good one.
Yeah. So don't feel like you're being all braggadocious, because you're not. You're answering a question.
Yeah.
and you can be proud of that. So for me, the reason that I put this on there is because I got a rare compliment from my boss and friend, Pat Crane. He's not one to give a lot of compliments ever. Ever. And it's just his nature. It's just his personality. It's just how he's wired. He does not give a lot of feedback. And so this on Monday, we were recording BattleNet Sports, and he does the segments in pre-recorded stuff and like schedules all of us one-on-one in a couple hour block. So it's me and Jocelyn Moffat, who does the Hearthstone esports, and Thist, who does the Arena and Overwatch League. And he said to me after we were done, he's like, "You make my job so much easier because you come prepared every time. And you know, you have your notes, you give me your notes ahead of time, you know exactly what you're talking about, and all of you do that, and it's making my job so much easier." And like
nice.
That, I was just like, yeah, because you know, it's hard to you know, when you're like, I see a lot of people who do this where it's literally like they sit down and to do a podcast and they just don't have their stuff organized or what their talking points are going to be or anything like that. And it's like, you've got to come prepared and like be ready to go and be able to, like, you know, if your host, your interviewer asks you a question that you may not have put on your notes, you got to be prepared to grab that in a second, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, and be ready to just riff. And it's just like, yeah, that was cool. That was a great compliment. I was like, thank you. That means a lot to me. Because I sit down for like an hour, I watch all the sports happen, and then I sit down for like an hour and I research and I write notes out and I make my talking points and how I'm going to angle this conversation. And so, yeah, so that was cool.
That is cool.
So yay, that was awesome. And these didn't have to be work related, obviously, but we both went to the work route. So
it was the most recent big compliment that I've gotten, really.
Right.
So
that's
why I mean, it was yesterday, so that's why I haven't remembered it so well.
Yeah. So we asked you guys the same question. Draven Dresden said, "Someone actually told me that I inspired them. I don't understand that, but it happened."
You inspire me to go and do rocket runs because heaven forbid that you get them out before me like you usually do.
Which he
did. You keep me on my toes.
We keep him on his toes.
Yeah. And Zytam says, "It's not a recent one, but my best friend has a daughter. When she was younger, I always played with her. When she was 5, she said I was her favorite toy. It's still the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me."
Aw,
that is so
sweet.
cute. That's so cute.
Really sweet. Crushinator said, "I made a bit of a self-deprecating joke on Valentine's Day to my wife. I said, 'Tell your boss that you have to leave work early to go on a date with a hottie tonight. Then tell him the hottie canceled and you have to go out with me instead.' And she replied, 'The hottie didn't cancel. You're still going.'"
Aww.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. And Bim says, "I forget what my boss said, but she's been rather pleased with how well I've been doing my job. I just wish that I could convince my coworkers to do the same."
Yeah, no kidding, right? That's the hardest thing, when you're like, come on, people, step it up.
Yeah.
Alessandra says, "I don't get many compliments, so probably the podcast that have let me be their guest. Thank you all. I appreciate it."
Yeah, that is a compliment to have them on. Yeah. And Memeth says, "You are the best phone rep I have had in forever." Then that was a paraphrase. That is awesome.
Very nice.
That is a good compliment.
So my job to the audience is, if you didn't answer this question for the show, think about what was the best compliment you've received lately and remind yourself of it. Hold it a little bit and just kind of, you know, pat yourself on the back because you're awesome. There you go.
Yes, you are.
That's a Tell Us One Thing for this week. You can submit your answers to our weekly questions either through Discord, which the short way to get there is tinyurl.com/TTTchat2. On Twitter, it's twitter.com/Tauren Think Tank or @Tauren Think Tank on Twitter. So there you go. And we did not get any slash moves or any feedback this week. So that, Marconin, is a show.
I wasn't ready for that.
I know. Where to go?
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we're okay. That's it. Bye, guys. I'll see you later.
I know. You know what, though? We did not lose you. Your internet has stayed stable.
Yeah.
Your camera has not stuttered once this entire episode.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that before Tell Us One Thing, because I was like, hey, Jules, what time is it? It's not Tell Us One Thing time. It's I'm still here time because it's after 9 o'clock. So yeah, I have now narrowed down what the issue is in my brain. So now I'm gonna try and fix it.
Yes. Well, and for the last few weeks, we've had like camera, like your audio stays okay and your camera stops like a lot. And it didn't do it all this episode. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll see if I can fix that as well.
Yeah.
Go back to my old setup. It's still.
Whatever you got going on right now is flying high. So.
All right. I may just keep it the way it is then.
I would say so. Like, it sounds like you've got it locked and loaded. So, anything happening this week that you would like to talk
about? Not really. It's just another week in paradise, just going and going. I've got nothing really big going on the next week. My life's kind of boring.
It's all right. It's all right.
I don't have a whole lot going on, but I'm looking forward to next month when we get our little gaming night in with our patrons. That's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be fun. A couple hours of gaming every month just to do something. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Draven says /food everyone who forgot to send us /food.
There you go.
Well, I would also blame the Jules on that one because the Jules trying to drop the ball and actually like reminding people to send them. So blame the Jules.
# blame the Jules.
Yes. I don't know why I put a the in there, but it's just like I've now become an entity. But
blame
whatever.
the Jules.
Blame the Jules. So yeah, not a ton happening this week. I've been working on more jewelry pieces. I'm still trying to kind of sort out streaming schedule. My problem is that like I said last week, it's just like sometimes it's planning ahead because my commissions shift around, and sometimes I have the materials for the commissions and sometimes I don't, and so I have to wait for them to come in. Like right now I'm waiting for beads to come in for a lanyard that I'm going to work on. I don't know when I'm going to get the beads. And so it's hard for me to plan sometimes to do something, a project on stream, and make it entertaining and, that kind of thing. So I did a little bit today. I worked on a quick bracelet and tried out a couple new tech things. And so it was cool that way. But yeah, other than that, I will be watching HGC because it's the week before everybody qualifies for the Western Clash. And so we'll see what happens there. And, no Overwatch League this weekend, so it'll be a little bit quieter. And, yeah, be good.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we will be back next week for a show as normal, unless anything changes, which I don't think it will. But looks like Marconen's got his internet issues resolved now, so we're in...
Thank goodness.
We're in better shape than we were. So with that, we will bring the show to a close like we always do, just like this. Tauren Think Tank is a proud member of the Signals Media All-Star Network. Find out more about the other great shows in the network by going to signalsmedia.com.
Portions of the music and sound effects heard on this show can be found at incompetech.com and freesound.org. You can find us outside of the show on our website, taurenThinkTank.com, which has all of our podcasts and information on how to get in touch with us, too. You want to get, you forgot to get your Valentine's Day. You know what your sweetheart would really like? Tauren Think Tank shirt. You know where to find that? Is taurenThinkTank.com/store. And while you're there, pick her or him up a nice mug or a phone case or a notebook too.
I like this. I like this idea. Thank you to all who support our show via Patreon. Go check out our new video, our new perks, and consider helping out Triple T. You help out me, you help out Marconen, and you help out the show, which is amazing. And you can do that at patreon.com/TaurenThinkTank. If you want to meet other members of the Triple T community, you can join our Discord server. It's a cool place to hang out, ask for advice, and post kitty pictures and doggy pictures and creative stuff. The quick way to get there is tinyurl.com/TTTchat2.
Yep. And you can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/TaurenThinkTank. You can find us on Twitter for the show at Tauren Think Tank. For Jules at Jules RPG, and for Marconin at Marconin Wow.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat room, for being with us tonight. Hang out every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Central. You can find the video stream where we stream live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Tauren Think Tank. We love seeing you here with us however you want to hang out with us.
Yes, we do.
Marconin.
Jules.
We'll see you next week.
Yes, ma'am. See you next week.
For myself, for Marconin, for the entire chat room, until next time. /moo, everybody.
/moo.
Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
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 I so wish I had a Garrus cam on right now. He's so cute.
Aw.
Right, let me see if I
And
can
yeah,
snap a photo.
Draven, I didn't see that you got the rocket last week, or like a week and a half ago.
You
I
didn't
didn't
know
see
he
that
had it?
until just now.
I knew he had it.
Congrats, man. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I've got like 10 more characters to run through real quick. So, you never know. I might get it. Maybe. Probably wait till next year.
Can you see this, Marconin? Can you see him?
Oh, so cute.
Look at how cute he is. Look at how cute this cat is right now. He's so cute. He's just like the cutest. I can't stand it. And I turn and I look over there to turn the sounders on, and I'm like, oh, he's so cute. Oh my.
Internet siesta. No, not
No.
that second one. No way.
Deal with your crap. Bragadocious. Hashtag blame the Jules.
Oh, DJ Bragadocious.
That could be a fun bit. DJ Bragadocious. Which one do you like?
Nerf Bat like concrete's funny. Bragadocious is a pretty good one.
Bragadocious is
Or,
cool. Yeah, you're not being all braggadocious. I like that. I like that term.
I do too.
Okay. Bragadocious. Got it. And the spell check or something.
Supercalifragilistic. I am braggadocious. Or I'm not braggadocious.
No. Oh. Darn
Sorry,
Rocket.
Kyphon.
Darn Rocket. Silly Rocket.
Yeah, I'm gonna boot up the old game and knock out the last 10 or 12 characters that I got.
Yeah.
Just go for it.
Yeah.
We shall see.
We shall see. Well, I hope that you do have a celebratory moment on Twitter where you're like, look at how amazing it is. I've got it. I will never have to try for this again.
I know. Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, they say it's the journey, not the destination. BS. I want that to be that destination. Like I want them out now. I've had enough journey. Okay. I've had enough journey.
Thanks for the show titles, Draven. Appreciate it. Appreciate it always. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
We're going to get out of here and let Marconin do his rocket run so we can go to bed.
Yep. Or if we're lucky, just like yell from the rooftops.
Yeah. And
But I doubt it. But we'll see.
Like scream and yell from the rooftops and then go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
What did
Journey ever do to me? They told me don't stop believing, but I'm getting pretty close to not on this stupid rocket mount.
Wah, wah.
Because I do this, I do all these characters every year, every day, faithfully. Yeah.
You just had to go just a tad too far. Just like an inch too far. You had it at Don't Stop Believing. And
what? I mean, I figured that one was pretty good.
Yeah, and then you took it a step too far. You did.
Well, I mean, after all these
And I
years,
did.
there's another one.
I mean,
I'm just looking at Journey. I'm just looking at Journey lyrics.
You fell off
You
the
know?
cliff, so you might as well just grab the parachutes as you drop it.
Yeah.
Keep grabbing them. Shake a chunk out of the cliff as you fall. All right. Thanks for everybody for being here tonight, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Yep.
Slash moo.
Have a great week, guys. Have a great week.
Bye.